Hello, world. I've been coding for almost 20 years, but not like these coders. These are today's software engineers, all of whom just happen to be YouTubers. One thing they all have in common is that each has documented a workday of their lives. From the foggy bottom of London to the vaulted heights of the superstructures in Manhattan. All over the United States, you will see software engineers at work, those working from home and those employed at the supergiants of the tech industry. We will go down to Australia and meet programmers there, then climb up to the land of the rising sun, where the only language needed is a programming one. These are the people who make everything go. You'll greet more than 30 software engineers, so if you're a coder and a YouTuber and you're not here, it's time to up your game. I will also reveal the one thing that troubles me most about today's programmers. This is the day in the life of a software engineer. The day begins. Unfortunately, these programmers chose to open their video with a cliche as old as time. The alarm rings and they get out of bed, one after the other. Even overseas in Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom, they wake up in the morning. Who knew? Each vlogger obviously believed this to be the most logical way to kick off their videos. If we didn't see it, we wouldn't believe it. This is the only portion of their videos where the engineers are caught acting. They need to stop. Really. In the film Groundhog Day, the waking up moment served a logical purpose. Bill Murray lives the same day over and over again, and the day begins when he wakes up. Here, it is just wasted space. In coding lingo, it's garbage. Even to the most mentally challenged amongst us, the next scene is a no-brainer. With each successive video, you think this time they're not going to show it. We're not going to see them brushing their teeth. But we do. Every single time. Dental hygiene is of paramount importance to today's software engineers, even for those in the United Kingdom. Nothing less than an astronaut smile will do. Scrub, scour, spit. However, it must be noted that not a single coder flossed their teeth, just like the rest of us. The next scene in this unholy trinity of video making tropes is the shower. Even programmers working from home want us to know that at least today they took a shower. However, this cliche is apparently optional, as many programmers wisely chose to ignore it. Now, free of amateur vlogging tropes, the programmers offer an informative look at a typical day. First things first, every software engineer the world over would be useless without a cup of coffee. Many, many cups of coffee. Programmers have been overheard saying the following: "Sometimes I go hours without drinking coffee. It's called sleeping." If you are not coffee, chocolate, or bacon, I'm going to need you to go away. I want someone to look at me the way I look at coffee. Coffee, because crack is bad for you. I put coffee in my coffee. What goes best with a cup of coffee? Another cup of coffee. And so on. This beverage is so revered among software engineers that programming languages have been named after it. There's Java, created in 1995, and JavaScript, also created in 1995. However, programming languages from the 1960s and 1970s must be included as well. They are C and C++. The C, of course, stands for coffee. The fact is, if you're an aspiring engineer and you don't drink coffee, pin your name tag on and get back to work. there is serious doubt you'll ever work in the software business. Finally, it's time to get to work. During the global pandemic, a few engineers commuted to the workplace. Shockingly, none of them employ a private driver. Even more surprising is none of them use Uber, Lyft, or any other car service. They commute in a variety of ways, including by bicycle, by driving their own car, by skateboard, by train or subway, and finally, dare I say it, the public bus. Now the workday finally begins. Everyone dutifully checks their email. Typically, the messages are about code and review requests. Other messages cluttering the inbox include solicitations from vendors or notifications from human resources. After the last email has been dispatched, most programmers engage in a Scrum meeting. I said Scrum, not scum, although that is how many software engineers feel after they're over. The meeting is conducted by a Scrum Master. Yes, software engineers answer to a master. Also present is a product owner. This plantation duo have 3 questions for the engineer. What did you get done yesterday? What are you doing today? And are you having any blocks? Some programmers call this the daily stand-up meeting, but I'm not sure why, because as you can see, not a single one of them is actually standing. I guess that's one way to stick it to the man. When the meeting ends, it's time for the fun to begin. Coding. However, because programmers have signed non-disclosure agreements, we cannot show any of it. Hence, the computer screens are all blurred. However, during the survey of a day in the life videos, we did glimpse a few screens with coding intact. And this is what troubles me. We shouldn't have found any. Fortunately, this cocky devil-may-care attitude appears to be rare and harmless. One of the most popular questions aspiring coders ask software engineers is what programming language to learn. Although the engineer here never mentions the language he's using, this is Python, named after the snake and only reptile to kill and totally swallow a full-size adult. However, the Python here is user-friendly, unlike a rival user-unfriendly programming language called C++. The plus is being targeting crosshairs aimed squarely at the depth of your God-fearing soul. I digress. This programmer once worked for one of the mega giant tech companies, but this is a personal project and thus no disciplinary action was taken. This engineer would seem to defy credulity. He's using iOS software on a Dell computer. This is akin to wearing white socks with black shoes and not being Michael Jackson. The engineer shows us all of his coding. Using the programming language called Swift, he reveals the guts of a body mapping app and apparently the open backdoor into one of the largest tech companies in the world. As the coder pecks on his computer, his future as exiled whistleblower Eric Snowden's new roommate would appear to be inevitable. He runs the app as if to taunt the entire iOS community. The man even demonstrates how it works. But like before, this apparently is a personal project. No harm, no foul. Before the global pandemic, the offices at Patreon were busy with happy-go-lucky tech people. When the frolicking subsides, it's time to code. This engineer is coding in Objective-C, and it's quite obvious the coding is leading toward a potential catastrophe. But the camera cuts away just before showing a line of code that any black-hatted hacker could have used to bring Patreon down to its virtual knees. Or is that just hyperbole? Answer in the comments below. This all pales in comparison to the recent arrest of rogue software engineers. This coder allegedly used her skills to hack into the Capital One credit card database to acquire personal information on customers. This programmer was arrested for assault during the protest riots in Portland, Oregon. He works for Google no more. And this engineer allegedly used his coder skills for evil to defraud the American government's monetary aid during the pandemic. The cases are still pending. One phenomenon among software engineers is that most of them own dogs. None of the 30-plus coders profiled owned a cat or any other pets. For the engineers who work from home, we wonder just how much their dogs help them get through the day. Imagine if dogs knew how to code, pitching in as part of the team, working in the middle of the night while their masters slumbered. However, it must be said, most dogs would probably hate coding, preferring the luxurious life of sleeping, eating, and pretending to enjoy their incarceration. After hours of blood, sweat, and tears, it is time to give the coding a break. It is time to eat. Whether you're at home or at the office, good nutrition is a must. While a few engineers take supplements, most are satisfied with food. Programmers do not skip lunch. Shockingly, none of them employs a personal chef, so they prepare their own meals. Some of the less discriminating engineers have been spotted purchasing fast food. Some even dare to eat it in public. Oh my. Food delivery services such as Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats are used exclusively by product managers to order free food for programmers after announcing an impossible deadline. Amongst engineers, there is contentious debate whether these so-called pizza parties are good for morale or do they in fact suck balls. The jury is still out. After wolfing down lunch, there is still coding to be done, and the programmers leap into action. Each has their screen in dark mode. However, the codes themselves come alive in living Technicolor. Their goal is to make this software as user-friendly as possible so that any idiot can use it. They imagine the end user standing over their shoulder saying, "Don't make me think." This is the time of day when most of the coding gets done, a 4 or 5 hour stretch of uninterrupted bliss. The engineers get into the zone, reaching toward the thrill of achievement and the satisfaction of resolution. Faces cold and objective, they get the job done. There is no weak sister amongst them. Every code is considered with a critical eye. The program has to run error-free. Several engineers, tired of sitting, push a button on their desk that raises it. These adjustable standing desks help improve productivity and user energy, as well as eliminating or reducing neck, back, and shoulder pain. Some of these standing desks even claim to reduce the risk of diabetes, heart problems, and obesity. No one is saying the programmers who use these creative and innovative desks are better than the sit-down, slump behind a conventional desk programmers. No one is saying that. No one at all. Nope. Yeah. What would a day in the life of a software engineer be without exercise? Defying the 90-pound weakling nerd stereotype of yesterday's coders, today's programmers take their health and fitness seriously. Shockingly, none of them employ a personal trainer. Instead, every coder here spent part of their video showing us how they train themselves, molding their gelatinous excess into winning hard bodies. Some stretch, others lift weights, play pickup sports, or just run full tilt. There's an unending variety of ways how today's software engineers stay fit. It's the end of a long day for these programmers. In their off time, some watch videos, some play video games, others work on YouTube videos. A couple of them give the time of day to their spouses. Fortunately, only a few of them end their videos by going to bed. Good night, good night, good night. So, what is the takeaway from this video? I'll give writer Rich Cook the last word. He says, programming today is a race between software engineers striving to build bigger and better idiot-proof programs, and the universe trying to produce bigger and better idiots. So far, the universe is winning. Secret Coder out.